Fear Not, Episode 10. Hi, I'm Billy Atwell, and I believe that consistently facing your fears is the only way to realize your truest self and to make those confident choices that will help you to obtain your deepest held hopes and dreams. I have faith that this podcast series will show you that you are not alone, that it will strengthen you and give you courage to face your fears, and that it will help you to permanently cross over into a life of living beyond your fears. Join me on this journey as we listen and learn from others as they share their experiences in facing and overcoming their own fears. Hello, everybody. Today, you and I are going to be joined by Kim Walsh-Phillips. Welcome, Kim.
Thank you for having me.
Great. Are you ready to fear not today?
Absolutely.
Kim is an award-winning speaker, author, podcaster, and CEO of Elite Digital Group, a direct response social media agency. Kim has brought in more than $1 billion through her clients with her laser focus on increasing their revenue through direct response marketing. She's the author of No BS Guide to Direct Response Social Media Marketing, the ultimate no-holds-barred guide to producing measurable, monetizable results with social media marketing with Dan Kennedy. She also leads the top-ranked podcast, Facebook Sales Strategies, on iTunes. Kim, can you take a few seconds to fill in the gaps and give us a brief glimpse of your personal life?
Absolutely. So I was a former PR person who spent a lot of time struggling to make an agency work. About 10 years ago, I discovered direct response. It was the same time I had my first child. And thankfully, they came together because I had to do things differently. And at that time, our agency switched around. I'm very blessed in that I have the number one direct response social media agency in the world. I have an incredible staff that works hard every day and a wonderful family. My husband Ian's a former Marine, who I'm proud to support, and my two kids, and we live at the Jersey Shore.
Thank you for that.
Sure.
Can you tell us what has been one of your biggest fears that you've had to face, and what did you do to overcome it?
Absolutely. So I had fear that was based in something that's termed head trash. All this garbage in my head that was influencing my decision making. And it was the voice that would talk to me to say, "Who do you think you are?" I had been influenced by people in my community who really didn't like you to speak boldly or loudly. And for too long, I let that voice guide my decisions. That before I would do something, I would actually think, what would they think? Would they think I'm being too bold or too braggy or too forward? And it wasn't until I was doing a speaking engagement, getting paid very little money, and in a disgusting motel that I literally would not take my shoes off in the motel at all. Like I would not use the shower. I would only sit on the sheet. It was the worst. And I sat there thinking, you know what? That person who I think about all the time, what will she think? She's not going to get me out of this situation. She's not going to get me better gigs or get me paid better. I have to stop listening to her because I have to do something different. So for me, it was really a time of desperation, of knowing that whatever my fears are, they're not worse than my current circumstances. And if I'm going to make them better, I have to move forward.
I've seen you speak before, and I know that you've said that you're a woman of faith. How does that come into play for you?
Yeah, big time. And, it's one of those things that unfortunately I can't relate to those that don't have it. I'm very, very thankful in that I've always had a faith and I've gone through a lot of trials and tribulations in my life, but it's allowed me to get through those moments. And I have felt presence around me of God and that I'm being guided in a path. So sometimes when things are rough, I can lean on that and just to say, I'm nervous, I'm scared, help me. And that has definitely been helpful. And then also, we all have in our gut, whether you feel like it's a calling or it's your faith guiding you or that instinct you have. Often we feel pulled to do something, and it's amazing though, like when we lean into that pull, when we lean into the decision to move forward, it's amazing because these incredible doors open up. And so when you can take that moment just to take one step forward and wait to see what happens next, that can be a great way to continue on your path.
Do you have a daily practice or habit that you use that could help us stay out of fear?
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's a great question. So that's one of the biggest things that I had to work with for a long time. And what I recommend is, and what I do is I work in big goals. So I have 3 big goals at any one time. And then I break those big goals into 3 categories: 14-day, 30-day, and 60-day. And it's what I have to accomplish under each one of those goals, what tasks have to get done. And then the important key in all of this is to have an accountability partner or be members of a mastermind. So I have a mastermind that I meet with weekly, that we keep each other accountable to our big goals and our tasks we set to accomplish. That way, if I ever let my fear stop me from moving forward on something because I'm worried about what people will think, or I'm worried about what might happen next, or I'm worried it might not be a success, they can call me out on it. And just knowing that they can is so often all I need in order to take that next step forward.
Could you share with us a resource that might also help us on our own journeys?
Yeah, absolutely. So, one of the things that helped me a lot with my fear and my head trash was a book called How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Oh, yeah, Dale Carnegie.
Yeah, it's a great one. And that really helps about how if we all just treat people with importance, it helps us feel more comfortable in the situation because we're giving people what they need while we can accomplish our goals. And another one is called the 25 Sandler Success Principles. I went through Sandler sales training, which I highly recommend, and help to reposition sales in a way that you're providing value versus being a pain to people. And the Success Principles book goes through a lot of the philosophies they teach in that course that help to reposition the mindset.
Are you ready for the speed round?
Sure.
What individual, fiction or real, has made the most impact on your life?
Jesus.
If you can instantly change one thing in the world, what would that be?
We would all operate with love.
What's your biggest weakness?
Taking on too many things at the same time.
What's your biggest strength?
The desire to help others.
And if you could have only one book to read, what would that be?
I have to say the Bible.
And lastly, do you have a favorite sound?
The ocean.
Do you have any parting advice for us today, Kim?
Absolutely. So here's the thing. Here was my biggest struggle in everything that I did. I kept thinking that the solution to my gaining success was to work harder. If I was going to have if I was going to make my first marriage succeed, I had to work harder. If I was going to make my business succeed, I had to work harder. If I was going to be fit, I had to work harder. And it wasn't until finally I listened to, those around me, and I also leaned on my faith, that it came to me that it's not about working harder and harder. I had to do something different. And doing something different can be scary, but it's if what you're doing right now isn't working, then doing more of it isn't going to work either. So if you're not happy with where you are now, then not doing anything is going to keep you there. It's only in taking that small step in another direction can you bring change about. And often it's not about making you work any harder than you are now. It's about finding a different way to do it.
That's excellent advice. Thank you. I want to thank you again so much, Kim, for taking the time to be with us today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining me today. And remember, you cannot achieve everything, but you do have the God-given ability to achieve anything. So stay focused, out of fear, and keep on keeping on. Until next time, be well and peaceful. For more information on today's episode and guest, or for resources that will assist you in overcoming your fears, visit livingbeyondyourfears.com. And don't forget to subscribe to this podcast, where 3 times a week we move to a life beyond our fears.